Sometimes we even have people coming into our store and complaining, why is your banana ice cream white? We need it to be a bit yellow. And then we also tell them, yeah, but open or peel a banana and then it's white.
Ciao a tutti e benvenuti a una nuova puntata del podcast Just Ice Cream. Abbiamo qui il piacere di ospitare per oggi Benedikt dall'Austria, da Innsbruck precisamente. Quindi, come per tutti gli inizi di puntata, ti chiederei, Benedikt, di introdurre un po' chi sei, qual è il tuo business, sei una gelateria, insomma di introdurti un po'.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. I'm Benedikt from the Gelateria Tomaselli in Innsbruck. We produce ice cream since more than 20 years. By now have 4 shops, and I'm, so to say, the junior boss in the business. So it's been a family business from the start, from my parents, and now since more than 3 years I'm also in the business. And yeah, that's I guess why I'm here, and I'm happy to speak about our company and about ice cream today.
Per chiederti subito una curiosità, visto che hai citato già il nome della gelateria, quindi il nome del tuo brand, come mai un nome italiano? C'è una storia dietro?
Yeah, Tomaselli is coming from the name of my parents. So my dad is called Thomas, my mom is called Elisabeth. So Tomaselli, it's the start of their both names. And then obviously it's a nice Italian sounding name. So it was a really, really good match. Having the founders' names and also having an Italian sounding name was the good combination for a name. And it's been a good name since the start, and we're really happy with it and get asked the questions a lot of times. Yeah.
Da quanti anni è stata, diciamo, introdotta le gelaterie, perché alla fine sono più di una, di Tomaselli?
The first year was in 2002, so by now it's more than 20 years, 23 years next year. So yeah, that's since we make ice cream, and obviously we started with a small production, 1 store, and over the years we developed the brand, we developed the stores, and also our production recently. So yeah, that's how it's been growing in the last few years, yeah.
Quindi hai citato che hai 4 gelaterie, sono tutte nella zona di Innsbruck?
Yes, so our production is located in Innsbruck. Also our main stores are in Innsbruck. And last year we did our first shop outside of Innsbruck, but it's still within the region, within 20 minutes. So everything is produced locally in one of our productions, and then every day we deliver the fresh ice cream to all of our stores.
Venendo subito un po' al target di clientela, mi interessa sapere, tendete a lavorare di più con la parte residenziale, quindi cittadini e quindi mercato locale, o più con la parte turistica?
Yeah, good question. Also depends a lot on the location. I think in our 2 city locations, we're really in the center of the city within the shopping streets. So there it's a good mix. During the year, it's more the locals, obviously. And then in the peak season, so end of winter, when we open the ice cream shop, and especially during the summer, it's also a lot of tourists. And where we have the production and also the store a little bit outside of Innsbruck, it's really in residential areas. So there it's only locals, a lot of students in Innsbruck that are studying in the city. We're also located a little bit next to a swimming lake. So yeah, it's a good mix next to a biking lane as well. So in those 2 stores, it's only locals. So overall, I think it's a good mix, but it's definitely different from store to store, which is then also interesting about, which flavors do you offer? How do you attract both the taste of tourists and also of the locals? So it's sometimes tricky and a nice match to find, yeah.
Ok, capito. Sul buon mix penso sì, che sia la soluzione, direi, migliore per chi faccia il tuo mestiere, ma riesci a lavorare su 365 giorni l'anno o parte del lavoro si concentra stagionalmente?
It's almost the whole year, so the season is getting longer and longer. Every year we start earlier, every year we finish later. So by now it's start of February until mid of November, and I'm quite sure in a few years it will be the whole year around. We just see that the season, the warm days start really early, and they're lasting longer. So I think in a few years we will have all year business. By now we always do in Innsbruck a famous event on the last day of our shop. We do free ice cream for everyone for the last 2 hours, and we have queues that are more of like 200, 250 meters long, where people wait for 2-3 hours for an ice cream. So this is like a season ending that it's a really nice event for everyone. So that's also why we at the moment say keep it at this, have an off season for 2 months, and then we continue again in spring.
È un argomento in cui mi piacerebbe poi tornarci dopo, successivamente, però tipo questo tipo di attività sono un fattore decisionale che porti avanti tu?
Yes, definitely. I think that's the nice thing about a family business, that you're always in touch with your family, both then private and professionally. And I think sometimes you're just sitting at dinner and you're talking about things, and then someone has an idea, and then you're just developing it and you're doing it. I'm also really lucky to have a lot of freedom in the company. So my parents are not saying you're only allowed to do this or that. So they just say, okay, do your thing. You have to learn anyways. It's also possible to make mistakes, which I think is important. And by that, I think we're all having good ideas. And then some ideas come from me, some from my parents. But also in the office, we have a good creative team. And even sometimes, if it's other ideas, more flavors and so on, it comes from our sellers in the stores. So I think it's always if anyone has a good idea, we will
Team
touch
building.
upon it and then see. Yeah.
Bene, mi piacerebbe sapere un po' come sei arrivato a tornare un po' al lavoro della tua famiglia, no? Dando un prolungamento generazionale al brand Tomaselli, quindi se ti va di dirci un po' di più.
Yeah, I think anyone that has a family business probably knows it's something you just grow up with. You see your parents go to work every day. After school, you often go to the office, obviously eating a lot of ice cream when you're a child as well. But that's, I think, how I grew up with. When I was 14, 15, it was the first times that I was selling ice creams in the summer in our stores. When I was 16, I went to the production in the summer. I was doing the delivery. So let's say by the time I finished school, when I was 18, I did everything in the company once. I did from some social media posts to producing ice cream to delivering ice cream. So all the stations I did once, which also my dad always says is important. You should know every part of the business to then make a decision whether this is something for you or not. Obviously, with 18, you don't know is it's the family business, is the gelato industry something that I'm interested in. So I decided to just give myself a bit of time, but also to learn a bit more and to study in the end. So I did generic business and management bachelor's, and then over the years it progressed that I grew more and more involved into the family business.
Giusto una curiosità, quando hai raggiunto la decisione di entrare definitivamente in azienda, quanti negozi avevate?
So when I came back from doing my master's abroad, then we had 3 shops. We just finished our production, and it was 2-3 years ago. So from then on, we have one more shop, and I think now we are very much in plans not only to open more shops, which is not for sure, but to just always improve the quality, but also to be a bit more versatile in our concept. So there will definitely be some things to come in the next few years. Yeah.
Hai fatto un master a livello manageriale, di management, quindi?
Yes, I was studying innovation entrepreneurship, so a lot of economics, but also a little bit of how do you bring innovation to a company? How do you keep track of time? How do you develop new things, which is often related more to the startup economy or so. But I think also in family business, in the ice cream industry, it's definitely something important that you should never stand still. You always have to try to innovate and always have to try to find better quality, more natural quality, but also maybe better locations for stores. So we try to never stand still. There's always some progress where we see where can we improve the company and the concept.
Una domanda che potrebbero sembrare due, ma alla fine sono abbastanza correlate e messe assieme. Quando hai deciso di comunque lavorare nell'azienda di famiglia, quindi in Tomaselli, come hai trovato lì l'azienda e come la ritrovi oggi secondo il tuo punto di vista? E quali secondo te sono alcuni aspetti con il tuo imprinting o comunque la tua macchia, diciamo, impronta decisionale o qualcosa che senti che hai portato tu, ecco?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I was lucky when I came into the company. The base, the foundation was really, really good. So I think my dad, he always had a good feeling for how should a store look like, just the design of everything. I think when you visited one of our gelaterias, everything was perfectly fine and in line. I think what I added now to it is, first of all, the whole digital side. So now just how we market, how we sell our brand, so that also the young generation, not only when you visit our stores, but also when you follow our social media, when you want to apply for a job with us, that the whole experience is the same as if you would be in one of our stores. So that the whole brand is overarching, and it's not only nice stores, but also everything around the stores is professional and is working well. And I think coming with that is also the one of the biggest challenges, obviously, finding the right personnel. I think that's also where we invested a lot of time over the recent years, or also myself, to make everything very transparent, to make a lot of benefits for the employees, to just see that the employee satisfaction is as high as it can be, so that we then can focus with very good personnel to develop in other areas. So I think for the first 2 years, that was definitely one of the main focuses that I had, yeah.
Visto che hai citato già la parte di lavoro che hai portato, quindi quella di lavorare anche sul personale, avete una sorta di formazione interna per strutturare un po' tutti gli store manager o chi si occupa del negozio?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're lucky to have a few key positions for very long in the company. Our head of production, for example, is here since 2002, so he knows everything from our recipes to our ingredients to also how the customers like our ice cream, which flavors we're working in which years. So we have a really good consistency in most of the positions. But obviously there's always things like for important persons now, pregnancies, or sometimes we just need to, we're growing also, obviously. Everything gets a little bit more complicated, more bureaucracy also. So we're also adding people here and there that are also in key positions financially, but also maybe just in the office. So it's also important that the new people get the same trust. But I think we have a good combination of people that are here for 15, 20 years, but also now some young, fresh talents that are really bringing some sort of new motivation and some new power, not knowing how everything has been done for 20 years, but really bringing new ideas in. So I think at the moment we're having a really good combination. Obviously, it's not always the easiest to manage if you have people that are here for 20 years and then people coming in with very new ideas. But I think that's often how the best ideas in the end are created. Yeah.
Visto che hai citato un punto che anche noi, essendo comunque un'azienda giovane all'interno di un'azienda più strutturata, più longeva di noi, ci troviamo a come dire, combinare la parte di personale che è qui da tanti anni con le nuove generazioni. Come trovi questa combinazione? È più un motore che facilita la gestione o trovi delle difficoltà?
Yeah, obviously I think it's challenging. Also for me personally, in the end, I am 25 years old, and then often speaking to someone that is mid-50, let's say, and has been in the company for 20 years, I cannot walk into the room and say this works like this and not anymore like this. So I think it has to be very subtle with a lot of feeling. You have to give the people time in the end, because it's often they are used to it, and every time you introduce change, it's hard for someone. They're thinking, did I do something wrong, or why would we need to change it? It worked for 20 years. We have a lot of digitalization topics, for example, where we, like every ice cream we make, we want to have the data. Every flavor we sell, we want to have the data, just so we can compare. This flavor works well, this flavor not so well. Previously it was often, I like this a lot, so we sell this. And then they said, yeah, okay, but this works well, this doesn't work well. But then I say, no, look at the data, it's quite obvious which works and which not. And obviously it's sometimes points where...
Computers say that.
Yeah, they say, why, you can taste it, why should we trust the computer? And obviously that's always interesting discussions, but I think, just with talking, with... taking it slow, with having a little bit of, or trying to have a little bit of a feeling for how the persons react, it works well. And then, so far I really have a good relationship also with the people that are here for long term. And I think then it's, sometimes they need to break me a little bit and say, okay, take it slow. Maybe this is something we can only do next year. And then sometimes I'm, okay, in the end, you're right. We don't have to change everything from A to B now. So it's a good combination that sometimes I tell them or push them a little bit to innovate more, or to try some new things, and sometimes they break me a little bit, so it's not too much at once. So I think it's a good balance at the moment, yeah.
Hai trovato qualche difficoltà? Sei arrivato, giovanissimo, io non pensavo fossi così giovane, ad avere così da subito credibilità, il fatto di essere anche il figlio del proprietario, del padrone.
Yeah, obviously sometimes it's situations where you don't want to play I'm here the son of the owner or whatever. You just want to be treated like everyone else. But I don't think it's any trust issues or so. And I think it's normal that when you're young, you have to gain the trust of the other people. So sometimes, obviously, when I said things, it wasn't done. Then when maybe my dad said it a few weeks later, then they were doing it immediately. But I think it's normal and it's fair. I think I also have to work to earn my trust. I mean, why why should they trust me without a lot of work experience before? So I think it's fine. I have to earn my rights to delegate as well. And but I think it's always about, in the end, coming down to the work, to the quality itself. And if they see it's good ideas, or if they see I was right with some things, then they understand, and vice versa as well. Like if they said I wouldn't do it like this, and then I see, well, in the end they were right, and maybe I was thinking too quick with this idea, then I'm also the first one to say, okay, I'm fine, I made a mistake, or you were right. So I think being open and admitting to mistakes from both sides, and then I think it's open communication and it works well. But yeah, obviously it's always an interesting topic. Yeah.
Venendo un po', avendo un percorso simile, poi vabbè, io ho preso un orientamento diverso, ma venendo comunque da una famiglia, specialmente da mio padre che ha sempre avuto una gelateria, puoi realmente dire di amare il gelato e adesso di lavorarci assieme? Cioè, senti questo trascorso?
Well, obviously I like it, but people are always telling me, you must be in heaven, you can eat as much ice cream as you want. And I also tell them,
every day you can eat gelato.
Yeah, and also when we do production tours, they all say, I wanna sleep in the fridge, and then I can eat ice cream the whole night. And I'm like, okay. But more because I tell them often I don't eat a lot of scoops of ice cream over the year. What I really like is just taking a spoon, try a little bit of the different flavors, check everything. That I really like, but I never go out of work with a whole scoop of ice cream, because you eat so much over the years, you know the taste. So I'm also with our ice cream of the week. Every week we do a new flavor. So there I'm always really happy to try a new flavor, have a new taste. And for me, then this is also refreshing and nice. But the classics that we do for 20 years, I ate it so much. So from that aspect, I really like gelato, but I'm not. It's not that just because you own a gelato shop, you eat hundreds of kilograms of gelato. At some point, it finishes. Yeah, definitely.
Tornando un attimo invece sull'organizzazione, su quello che è Tomaselli ad oggi come azienda, quanti siete intanto in azienda come dipendenti? Perché mi sembra di capire che ce ne siano abbastanza. E come è strutturato l'organigramma, ecco, come siete suddivisi in azienda?
Yeah, I think that's also interesting about a family business, that everyone does a little bit of everything. It's not clear HR, marketing, production. It's all a bit mixed. Also, when someone asks me what do you do, then I say everything and nothing, because I deliver, I produce, I sell, but it's not clear structures. But obviously, I think over the main season in the summer, we have around 20 employees full-time that are just working in all the businesses in the family. So it's ice cream, but also a little small side businesses, but mainly in the ice cream business. And then in the summer, we have around additionally 40 to 50 just ice cream sellers. And that really ranges from some doing 12 hours a week to some doing 30 a week. Then we have a really important position is our one HR person in the company. She structures all the shifts and when everyone works. So every week we do a new shift plan. All our workers in the stores, they can choose when they want to work week by week. That's how we make sure that we keep them happy, and that we also get a lot of students and a lot of university students to work for us. And it really works well over the years. But obviously it's a very complicated job to align when does everyone work. And besides that, I think, it's still my mother who is doing all the financial stuff and also a lot of the personal stuff. My dad, who is really looking over the company, overarching everything, and knowing every bits and pieces, and really important with his connections, with his contacts. And I think I'm mainly now managing all the operations. So seeing that everything works, doing all the technical checkups, and so when we need to repair something, organizing all this, but also seeing wherever my help is needed. I can be in the production, I can deliver the ice cream if it's necessary. I'm also happy to sell ice cream if it's a warm Sunday afternoon. So seeing that everything works.
C'è qualcosa di specifico che dici, dopo tutte, giustamente è una visione a 360 gradi, però c'è una che ti senti più incline, che ti piace di più?
What I like the most, I think, is definitely when we work on new topics for the next years. May this be new packagings, new flavors, so everything where we sit together, we try a lot of different things, and we see where could this end in the future. But I think the best part about my job is definitely the versatility, because after 2 days in the office, I'm also happy to get out and maybe just deliver ice cream boxes and do something manually. So I think having all the different parts to do, and also always having the possibility that your phone could ring and maybe the freezer isn't working and you just have to act quickly, it's nice because you feel that you work, you go home and you really felt, yeah, today was a lot of work. It's not always the same, just sitting in the office the whole day. So I think I really like the versatility that it could be anything each day. And even if you think today might be a quiet day, then those are often especially the days where you get a lot of calls of things may not be working or just small questions that people have. And then in the end, the day is over and it felt like 2 hours, but it was 10 hours then. So I think that's, if you like what you do, and I definitely love the job, and it's so many different tasks that it never gets boring or never gets repetitive in a way.
Vedendo che hai una miriade di ruoli in cui mi ci rivedo anche un po' di tutto il mio trascorso con Essenza, come ti dai il tempo di pensare in modo strategico e meno operativo?
Yeah, it's not always an easy question because often I feel people see the operative work more. So it feels when you do this, everyone is like, oh, you're working so hard. But if you're then doing strategic work in the office, no one sees
nothing.
you. So where are you the whole day? But definitely now I'm trying also to structure some key positions for the operations, to just have good people there that I can trust so that I can also work more on the strategical part. So for example, this summer, the guy that accompanies me, also called Benedikt, he helped, for example, just the core 4 months, 40 hours a week, just a full-time employee, just helping me with all my tasks. So in the end, this summer we were 2 doing what I normally do alone. So that's already a great help that I can focus more on some strategic back office topics while he's really supporting me, knowing the business also since he's 15, a very good friend. So that's always, how we try to focus more on the work, that we also get a little bit of the strategic work done. And this is also something that I plan to keep in the next years, that we really structure the team so good that in the end we can choose to work on operations, but we can also choose if we needed to work on strategics, so that we're not bound for maybe 5 months to only work in operations. So I want to definitely long-term create the freedom that we are very well managed operatively, so that we can work more strategically then, yeah.
Ti piace comunque girare, vedere cosa c'è fuori? Soprattutto penso che il gelato sia uno dei settori dove ci siano così tante abitudini, così tanti gusti, quindi ti piace prendere un po' ispirazione un po' in giro, magari anche in Italia?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've always been traveling a lot with my girlfriend. I mean, we recently became parents.
Baby.
Makes it harder to travel, definitely.
Yeah,
but
last time.
but still, I think everywhere you go, even if it's I think in different countries, different continents, the ice cream or the gelato industry, it's really different. But still, everywhere sometimes you see a nice store, sometimes you see really nice even clothes for the people that work there. I think there's everywhere some positives that you can take, and definitely now, since also we have the baby, we choose countries more close. Definitely a lot Italy, Croatia, and I think it's definitely nice. And even sometimes, you always see something. Sometimes it's the hazelnut flavor that is really good. Sometimes it's just the vegan ice cream that is good at the store. So I think for every store that you visit, there is something you can learn. And so everywhere we go, we try to visit as many stores as possible, but it gets hard to eat all the ice cream then, yeah.
Hai mai pensato, o magari non so se vuoi spoilerare uno dei tuoi piani, di come dire, allargare il business anche fuori da Innsbruck?
Yeah, good question. We get asked often. My dad, I think, very specifically didn't want to do it, so there were definitely the possibilities to do it, but he really chose against it. At some point, I think I also understand it, but I would not say in the future that it's not a possibility. Might be, but I think also where we are at the moment, it's a lot of work in the end. It's hard to keep everything together while maintaining the quality, keeping all the people together, producing every day, 7 days a week, the ice cream. So now imagine this would be in another city 5 hours away from Innsbruck. I would just think all the problems we have here, if they're also there.
To change all the...
Yeah, indeed. And then we just, maybe at some point we're ready that we say, like we talked before, if we're operationally managed very well, then I think this is a step we might be able to take. But I think, it's a decision that has to be made if you even want to do it, if you want to take this step, if this is the right way to grow. There's also other possibilities, I think, in the end. It doesn't have to be another location. It can also be more growth in Innsbruck, also without the stores. But definitely something that is on our radar for the future. But I think it has to be very well thought through that it also works, and that you're not opening something and then you have not the best quality there, you don't have the right people there, and then I think it can backfire very quickly. So I think if you do it, then you really have to stand behind it, have to do it right, and then it will work. But if you think you're not ready yet, maybe, then I don't think it makes sense to just do it because it sounds nice to have a lot of stores. So yeah, it has to be calculated a little bit as a decision, but who like never say never, yeah.
Stando sempre un po' alla gelateria che hai ad Innsbruck, secondo il tuo punto di vista il mercato ad Innsbruck specificatamente è saturo o vedi altre spazi per magari anche non semplicemente con i negozi ma anche con altre attività? E l'altra questione è, ti senti un po' il leader del gelato ad Innsbruck?
Yeah, for being such a small city, Innsbruck, I definitely think it is quite a saturated market. There is definitely some different companies, some different gelaterias, also the others with good quality, I would think. So definitely if someone is visiting Innsbruck, they will get a good quality gelato. But I also think it's a really traditional ice cream market still. So the people, every time we innovate, we see there's a thin line. Either the people say, nice, you did something new, really cool. But if it's too new or if it's maybe too unknown, then it doesn't sell well. So it's a very thin line still. And obviously we want to be on the forefront of innovation because it can always happen that competition comes. And therefore, now being in the lucky position to really be a leader in the market, which we are very happy and grateful about. We don't want to lose this position, and we also don't want to give a chance to competition, let's say, for a vegan gelateria or for a gelateria with like crazy innovative flavors to come in, and then the people say, they have all the new stuff. At Tomaselli, we always get the same. So that's why we will always try to innovate. That's also why we work together with you in the recent years, because we want to be ready whenever we want to make a good vegan ice cream, then we decide we make it. But we don't want to be in 5 years that everyone says we need vegan ice cream and we have never in our life made a vegan ice cream. So that's why we try to always test new recipes, vegan ice cream, like now the no added sugar ice cream, just so whenever we feel the market is completely ready, then we can really put this product in our stores. And now I think it's always nice. As I said, we have the ice cream of the week, a new flavor every week. Perfect opportunity to sometimes test the vegan ice cream and then really get the response of the market. Do they like this? Do they buy this? And what is the feedback of the customers? So by that, we really always get good feedback, and we see maybe this is too early. Yeah, recently we made, for example, crazy like matcha ice cream in 2014, which was really early back then. Now it would be the most normal thing ever. Back then the people were looking at us and saying, what is matcha? Like, why should we buy it? So that's why, it's always interesting to test, but definitely I think there is some growth potential for us in the market, saying that we just, what we offer, the variety of what we offer can even be broader, can go with time. Whenever the market is ready, then we will also be ready to deliver what is requested. Yeah.
Sempre rimanendo un po' sul tema innovazione, quindi anche come sei arrivato, come è arrivata l'azienda Tomaselli a un'azienda come Essenza. Diciamo che l'idea di sentire un po' anche i nostri prodotti è venuta direttamente da te o da un'altra figura della tua azienda o dalla tua famiglia?
Yeah, it was back then I think a good coincidence. I saw it somewhere on Instagram, and you read all natural ingredients and everything, a lot of vegan offers as well. And then I think within the company, it's definitely something from the young generation we have. So the people that are more new to the company, especially myself, also my girlfriend, that we say this is something we know for the future will be important, like definitely all natural, but also the vegan flavors. And then it's when speaking to, for example, my father, and it's fair for him to say that. He says for the last 20 years, he's always, the stores were managed well. And he says now it's definitely time for us to develop the next trends, to do the work. So he says, when we believe this is the right step, do it. But he will not be the one now innovating in vegan flavors, which I think is perfectly fine. In the end, he has done a very good job for the ice cream over the last 25 years, so he's not in a position that he now has to try and test vegan ice cream. He's then the one, if we have a result, he will also get a spoon to taste, and obviously his opinion counts a lot. Sometimes he's happy, sometimes he says, no, it's not good enough, but then it's honest feedback that we know, okay, we need to improve and further work on, but the impulse for this innovation is definitely coming from the young generation, which is probably because we're also more in touch with all those topics by now, I think.
Stando sempre un po' al tema come è nata la nostra collaborazione, visto che comunque è passato qualche mese, insomma, qual è il tuo primo bilancio sull'esperienza utilizzando i prodotti? E aggiungo che secondo me hai avuto una decisione intelligente, che è quella di partire con un topic dedicato, che è quello del plant-based. Qual è il tuo primo bilancio?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite surprising because since always we do all our fruit ice cream vegan. So, I mean, it's natural, it's only water, fruit, sugar, so it's easy to make it vegan. But we were testing over the years, always here and there, some samples with vegan milk ice cream. And it really never worked, never tasted well. And when we spoken to inside of the company, it was always not possible. Will not taste good. Yeah, somehow we didn't want to accept this because there's also completely vegan gelaterias around the world that have good ice cream. So we said it has to be possible. And I think that's again, like we said, sometimes you have to be a little bit slow in introducing. Like, we don't want to change from to tomorrow everything and change all the recipes. So that's why we said let's start with the vegan ice cream. It's one product. It's easy to distinguish, and I think so far we are really happy. We saw that some tastes are definitely possible to do vegan with all natural products and without losing the taste or without losing the texture. And I think it's also, when you see the recipes, it's really nice to see how many of the normal products that are already vegan you can use for vegan recipes, and then just create really good mixtures. Like recently with the chanduya ice cream we made, you just use the chocolate and the hazelnut paste you already have. So in the end, it's a really nice combination. And why do you need to add milk if the taste is the same like you have in vegan? So by now, really happy. Some recipes take longer that we get to the end result that we want. Some recipes are really first try, you taste it and you think, why did we not do this before? So yeah, I think at the moment it might be still a little bit more work because you're not used to the processes in vegan. It's sometimes a little bit more products that you need, but I think that's definitely fair to get the great quality. It's definitely possible to have a little bit more work, and I think it's also fun. You really see every small thing you put in, and then you see how it works in the end. It's also a rewarding process in the end. Yeah.
Come hai deciso di comunicare l'arrivo, comunque l'introduzione del gelato plant-based che stai servendo nelle gelaterie?
Yeah, we tried a few different methods. Like some are really highlighting vegan, and for example, making the ice cream of the week, writing, okay, that's yogurt orange, and then writing in brackets vegan, so that really everyone sees this is vegan. And sometimes we try to do it a little bit more subtle, just having a nice, the flavor, just say yogurt orange, and then a green sticker with vegan, rather small, rather subtle. And like at the moment now, we're not at a point where we say, okay, you really have to push it into the face of the people that it's vegan, or you do it more subtle. But that's how we sold it. And obviously the responses are often, especially from people that live vegan, they are just great. They say, yeah, finally there's a vegan pistachio ice cream, or finally I can have a vegan yogurt ice cream. I've waited for so long. Obviously, on the other hand, you will have really traditional people that are like, no, I'm not going to even try the vegan pistachio just because it's vegan. So you will have both kinds of people, but I think as also my dad always says, if you really stand behind the product, if you believe in it, if you're happy with the product, then there will always be positive and negative feedback, no matter what you do in life. So if you really stand behind it, then you have to keep your position. And then I think you have to tell those people, well, then maybe one of the other 23 flavors is for you, but we definitely stand behind the vegan flavor. And I think so far we definitely, it always sold well. It was never the case that we had a vegan flavor that was not selling for a few days. So in the end, I think the demand is definitely growing, is already there, and will get larger over the next years. Yeah.
Stando sempre un po' alla parte marketing, che secondo me per la gelateria comunque è sempre un tema interessante, o comunque fa parte un po' delle dinamiche delle gelaterie attuali, ma anche quelle moderne. Come comunichi? Hai una figura dedicata e quanto investi, se ce lo puoi dire?
Yeah, we've tried both. So we had agencies that really did from website, branding, social media, or we did everything ourselves. So both ways. In the end, just knowing that our generation also, we all grew up with social media. We all know how to take a video. Obviously, it's a lot of time that needs to be invested, but I think by now it's a good mix. So every marketing, social media, writing texts, communicating about the ingredients, about the ice cream, we all do ourselves now, because then it's just 100% the way that we want it to be, and there can be no miscommunication with any agency. Obviously with pictures, sometimes with more branding or graphics, we get help externally, but I think that's something we're really proud, but that's also fun for us. In the end, we, as I said, stand behind our product, so we also want to show it in the way we see it, and that's only possible if you do it yourself. That's more maybe the online perspective. If we really go in stores and more the traditional, how does a store look? How do we make everything? How are the materials that we use? I think that's one of the huge strengths that my dad had really early on. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased, but I think if you walk into one of our stores, there will hardly be any gelato shops in Europe that look the same. We have like real wooden ceilings. We have everywhere the best qualities, all our freezers, and so it's all built in. So you will not see one cable. It's designer lights. Everything is really in every detail finalized in high quality. Obviously, it was always a big investment to open a new store, but we never have any problems, nothing to change. So I think that was, as he said, if you do something, you have to do it right away also. So I think, if anyone visits our stores, they will definitely see what I mean. It's a lot of details, but it's always the best quality, and it's not the typical ice cream shop. It could also be something completely else, just because of how nice the design and everything is. So it's an experience to often step into some of the stores that people say, wow, I've never seen it in this way to display and to sell ice cream. Maybe just to end this question, you will never see an ice cream tray where there is no ice cream, or let's say only 10 scoops left. As soon as there's like 1/4 of an ice cream left in the tray of a flavor, we put it out and we put in a full one. So people will always see at least half a tray of ice cream, and that's one job that is created, just one person, half ice cream together with the other half ice cream. So every ice cream we sell, it will always look nice. It will always have nuts and everything on top. So it's just way more effort for us. It's a lot of time and a lot of investment we have into the personnel to always prepare it new. But in the end, the customer walks in and they will always see a full display of ice cream. They will never feel like, now I'm eating the last 5 scoops because in 5 minutes the shop closes. No, for us it will always be full ice cream trays. Yeah.
Un'altra domanda che mi piace sempre chiedere a chi è direttamente nel business della gelateria: come formate la forza vendite, quindi lo store manager, o comunque più che lo store manager proprio chi serve il gelato? Che tipo di approccio hanno con la clientela?
Yeah, it's a very hard topic somehow. It's, as I said before, it's in the summer up to 50, 60 people just selling ice cream. Some of them staying 2 months, some of them staying 7 months, some working 12 hours, some 30. So you can imagine over the whole year, it's a lot of people that need to know how big should a scoop be, how do I push it on the cone and everything. So it's a lot of details that people often cannot imagine. But in general, every of our workers, they get an introduction into the way we want them to work. It's always like 3 hours per person, where we just train them. This is how we talk to customers. This is how the system works and everything. And then per store, we normally have one like a store manager that does a full time. And obviously those persons know exactly how we want to sell ice cream, how we want it to be done. And then if they see some of the maybe newer personnel doing something wrong on the first few shifts, which is perfectly normal, then they can advise them. But for us, obviously, like for any store, I guess it's important, the friendliness, that they also know how do the different flavors taste. We always encourage them, if there's a new flavor or something, taste it first. When someone asks you, you can tell them, this is what I like, or if you like something more sour, maybe try this. And that's how we try to always have a well-trained personnel. And obviously, I think since the start, we always try to market ourselves in employer branding also as a fun place to work. It's a lot of young people. I think the average age will be around 22, 23 something. So also if you're working an evening shift from 6 until midnight, there's 4 young people. It's also fun. They can talk to each other. What do you study? You go out there. You're from there. So in the end, it's also for a lot of people a fun time to work. So yeah, by that we hope to create a good work environment where they have a good mood, where they obviously are friendly and well serving the customers, but where they also can have a nice joke behind the store and have a nice time, obviously, yeah.
Qual è la vendita maggiore che viene effettuata nei negozi Tomaselli? Con il cono, con la coppetta da sport?
Yeah, at the moment we also tried to analyze it a few weeks ago. The order we do for the whole year in cups and in cones, it's almost the same. So we would say it's around 50-50. But what we do at Tomaselli, we don't sell like ice cream cups in a glass where you have vanilla, chocolate, and then some fruits and some sauce. We only serve ice cream to go. So you can have a cone or a cup. You get your scoops, but we don't do any fancy toppings, no fancy sauces. We have a chocolate fountain with warm, fresh chocolate, and that's also we try to keep it basic. But what we offer is always the highest quality. But we don't want to have 14 different sauces and toppings to add. So yeah, exactly. And that's also, yeah, we don't offer the cups just because that's our concept. People come in, they get their ice cream, and then they can walk through the city, walk through the park, but we don't have any like big seating area. Just in our production, okay. Yeah, because we have like an open production where through a glass window, everyone can see how we produce ice cream. So it's open to the public. Everyone, like we have nothing to hide in our production. So that's why we also show it to the people. And there we have a few tables. You can also have a coffee, but it's still the same concept. You go to the store, you order your coffee, you get it from the counter, and then you can sit down. But we don't do any cups or anything fancy there.
Oltre al gelato hai anche la parte di caffetteria, pasticceria o solo gelato, oltre al caffè?
Yeah, only gelato. Just where we have the production, there's a coffee machine, but it's really a small part of the business. So we only do gelato, only to go, and then obviously in the production facility, people can have a coffee, but it's more a side business or more people working there. People sometimes sit down, especially also parents with kids. Then they view our gelatiere, how they make the ice cream. For the kids, it's obviously always a really nice experience. And then parents want an espresso or so. For that, it's fine, but it's not that we then would serve iced coffee fresh with espresso or so. We stay with the gelato, yeah.
C'è secondo il tuo punto di vista, un fattore in cui senti che Tomaselli è più bravo degli altri?
Yeah, I think there will not be a lot of ice cream places probably where you get the whole complete package. As for us, I think there are some ice creams with really good ice cream, some shops that look really nice, but I think for us the total package is just what makes our brand. We obviously, I think, make a really good ice cream. Otherwise, the business wouldn't work as a gelato shop. But I think it's more the experience. You go in, as I said, the interior is nice. The clothes of our workers are nice. The quality is good. The scoop size is a rather big scoops that we have. So I think people go in, they get worth for their money. So I think they get a really good worth. And so I think the overall experience is what makes it. And I think it's just more the experience, the last details, also how our cups look, how the spoons, everything compostable, but always high quality. Yeah, material. It's always, everything is branded. We don't use any plain things or plain cups where it all is the same logo, the same branding. So it's all well thought through in the end.
Stai ragionando a tutti gli effetti come un'azienda più che una singola gelateria.
Yeah, at some point, obviously, it is a company, and I think what works for other companies, it also works for gelato shops. So I think we try to be as professional as we can in every part of the business. May this be branding, marketing, orders, and that's why we definitely reason like a company in those shops. It's not only about the ice cream, and then I don't care how the customer gets his ice cream. It's really even thought through until the point where the customer throws it in the trash, where we are already thinking about projects of how to recycle the cups, the spoons. So it should be a whole experience really from where do we order our ingredients to the point where the customer throws away his trash. That's everything we think about, and not only the production. So obviously, yeah, we think and operate like a company and not only like a gelato production, so to say. Yeah.
Secondo il tuo punto di vista, qual è la più grande sfida che ti senti di dire provo a raccogliere nei prossimi anni?
Yeah, definitely think it's having the right personnel and having also the right workforce. I think we have now a really good base. Our recipes are really good. Our ingredients are really good. We are working with the right partners that are also innovating together with us. So there's no standing still. And I think if we can get really good personnel into some key positions, then I think the shop is running very good the way it is. And then I think it's when we reach this stage, then it's time to think about, are we happy the way it is? Do we want to grow to other locations? Do we want to grow into maybe other fields of the gelato industry? And but I think that's the main challenge at the moment, getting the right personnel, finding enough personnel also. We're always growing, longer opening hours, longer time a year, like we said, maybe opening 365 days a year. For that all, you need personnel. You need to handle all the bureaucracy with paying the wages and all the taxes for it. It's very, very complicated, unfortunately. But I think if we manage all those operations well, then I think we are definitely ready to also grow if we then want to grow at this stage.
Sempre rimanendo un po' sulla questione dell'aspetto manageriale verso i propri dipendenti, mi interessava sapere, secondo il tuo punto di vista, cioè, in cosa si deve eccellere per la miglior gestione di tutti questi dipendenti e come rendi possibile il fatto di far andare tutti nella stessa direzione tutti i negozi che hai.
Yeah, obviously always the people are always really proud to work in their specific store, so they always think that this is always for everyone the most important store. But I think the way we have it now, like almost every day we go to all of the stores, we have a small round that we drive, so there will always be someone from the office or from the family in the stores. So you always talk to the people, you can sense and hear the small problems that they have. Sometimes it's really, easy things. One store was always really, really warm, so now there's an air conditioning like in all the other shops, because they always said, I don't want to work here because there's no air conditioning. And so that's how we try to make every shop the same interior, all the same things for the employees. And by now we have the same machines in every shop. So the same cream or like whipped cream machine, the same chocolate fountain, even the same freezing units. But by now, like all the shops are then more or less the same. And now it's for people also easy to work no matter where they are. So we have a lot of people that work Monday in this shop and Wednesday on this shop. But obviously with the more people it is, the harder it is to know everyone personally, the harder it is to sense those small problems. But we often say it and see it. If there will always be, sometimes someone is ill and then, you don't find personnel. So you just go there yourself, 2-3 hours, scoop ice cream. And just during that, you see a lot. You might see, okay, with the interior, this and this is missing. One of the trays where the water is coming out to clean your ice cream scooper, this is not working. So sometimes just spending 2-3 hours in a store, really working the way that the sellers work, you see a lot of things and you understand a lot of the problems that they tell you. So I think that's always a good way to engage and to improve also then again this specific store.
Benedikt, mi piacerebbe sapere, visto che sei comunque giovane e credo tu sia abbastanza aggiornato su quello che ti accade attorno, hai una fonte ispirazionale, qualcheduno, un brand, una figura particolare anche non legata al mondo del gelato, dove prendi un po' appunto ispirazione?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of gelato brands in the world that are interesting, where you can draw a lot of inspiration, but also, it's maybe growing up in a family business, it's really, you see almost the whole day, you see this. And maybe, from that perspective, the idol also growing up a little bit was in the gelato segment. My uncle was our head of production for more than 15 years until 2018. So whenever I was a child and I had some questions about ice cream, I was always speaking to my uncle about it. And he was also really fond on trying new flavors and improving the base. And he was really always in the production, always moving. So it was always funny and interesting to see him. So definitely I think when speaking or thinking about gelato, then he's always the first that comes into mind for me.
Secondo il tuo punto di vista c'è un particolare trend che sta per sbocciare, che vedi che è lì, che sta per venire fuori, che ti senti di citare?
Yeah, definitely. I think for us in Innsbruck, maybe in other cities it has arrived a few years ago. For us, it's now arriving. Is the vegan ice cream, I think. So that's definitely something the people ask. But also by now they even demand it. They say it's normal in other cities. Like do something. Like really, I want to eat this. And that's definitely that we get the question often to do more like this. So I think this will also not be a trend that is only here for 1-2 years. Because if you see it in other industries or in the food industry more, like not specifically gelato, then I think the vegan is still on the rise, and it's not that it's completely dropping. And for me, it's also a trend that is that I can live with, that I'm happy with, that I can stand behind with, because in the end, it's about natural flavors. I'm not a huge fan if you try to artificially make everything vegan that is normally not vegan, but I think if you can work with natural ingredients and then get a good vegan taste, that's perfect. I mean, why not? So that's definitely something we see. And maybe then the trend more flavor-wise that we have like crazy in Innsbruck is the pistachio. So our best seller this year is the white chocolate with pistachio cream inside. So this is obviously a nice color, the white and green. It looks really nice when you look at it. But maybe 7-8 years ago, it was one of the flavors we sold quite less, and now it's the top seller. So it's crazy how much the people are fond to eat pistachio. Also, our just the normal pistachio ice cream is maybe number 3 or 4 of what we produce the most. So yeah, those two combined definitely speak volumes in the way that pistachio is just the flavor itself that people like the most in Innsbruck.
Qual è il gusto più venduto?
It is the white chocolate.
Ah, the white chocolate.
Yeah, pistachio. It used to be for years the Tomaselli special, we said. It's yogurt with passion fruit. But this year is the first year that the white chocolate pistachio is, even a little bit more. But those two are definitely 1-2, always changing this year. So,
Fighting.
So yeah, the two flavors we produce and sell the most, yeah.
Abbiamo parlato di trend, invece un mito che ti senti di sfatare?
What I was always really surprised when I now got deeper into the topics is the colors. Like if you go to some gelato shops, the vanilla is really bright yellow, the pistachio is really bright green. And by now a lot of people think that this is the natural color, just because ice cream always used to be this color, or also the green apple ice cream that is bright green, but if you look inside of an apple, it's not green, and it's definitely not bright green. So I think that's something that people should really pay attention to when they go into a gelato shop. Is the color looking somewhat natural? Also think about how does the product look in nature, and how does it represent in the ice cream. So sometimes we even have people coming into our store and complaining, why is your banana ice cream white? We need to be a bit yellow. And then we also tell them, yeah, but open or peel a banana and then it's white. But that's just, I think, the myth that over the years, people probably in the past ate a lot of just powdered ice cream, where you just pour a powder into water and you have a bright green ice cream or something. And I think based on this, the exceptions or expectations are a little bit wrong sometimes. So I think it's good again to trust your common sense and see, okay, vanilla doesn't need to be bright yellow, pistachio doesn't need to be bright green, it can be more brownish in a natural color. And I think that's also where we're slowly, step by step, working on that. It should really look also the way, and that's what we also stand behind, the way that the fruit or the nut is really looking in real life. Like there's no need for any colorings or any artificial colorings, because this is what nature gives us, and then why not sell it that way? Yeah.
Trust in nature.
Definitely, yeah.
Hai menzionato il fatto di controllare le vendite per ciascun sapore, ciascun gusto. Quindi ti affidi, avete un gestionale che controlla sia le vendite ma anche i forecast di produzione di chili da produrre?
Yeah, I think that's an important step we brought in also in the last 2 years, because in the end, it's for us important to know exactly, we see on the kilogram how much is produced from this, how much is produced from this, what product did we need, how much. So first of all, it's really good for the purchasing controlling, but also then to really forecast and to see, okay, in the summer, those are the 5 flavors that work. In spring and in autumn, maybe it's other flavors. So by that, we can really plan ahead for the next season already and see, okay, this very heavy chocolatey flavor, we bring more in autumn, but then surprisingly, this yogurt flavor was working in March really well. So there you can really always plan then the perfect combination of flavors and the perfect timing of flavors. And in the end, we produce everything ourselves freshly. So we have all the data. So we were just asking ourselves, why do we not use the data? And now we are really working hard to use as much of the data as we can, and it's a really interesting insights that we get.
La parte numerica ti piace?
I like when they are like presented when I see the final numbers, but I think the process of getting to the numbers, it's really complicated sometimes. So the analysis or the analysis of the getting to conclusions, it's really hard. I really like then to draw conclusions from the number, but I'm not a crazy data guy that extracts data from everywhere, but we have good people in the company that are really good at that. Yeah.
Sempre rimanendo un po' sull'aspetto numerico, come performano le varie gelaterie? Sono abbastanza similari? Ce n'è una che trascina, che performa di più?
Definitely one store standing out. So the one in the city center, large store, 24 flavors. Just because we open it at 9 in the morning, we close it at midnight. So it's the whole day there's people. In the summer there's tourists, in the normal times there's workers. Even on rainy days the city is full. The other stores are a little bit more outside or more at swimming lakes. So if the weather is bad, not a lot of people are there. So that's why this is really the one peak store where you know all day around there will be people, there will be ice cream to sell. And the other stores are more volatile for the weather and so. But this is definitely the standout store. And the other ones are also doing very well. But they have more changes over the season. Yeah.
Una curiosità. Essendo comunque una gelateria, ma una gelateria che comunque è strutturata, quando nasce un prodotto, per esempio cito il cioccolato bianco col pistacchio, com'è che viene suddivisa proprio la supply chain del prodotto? Ecco, come sono i vari flussi? Cioè dall'ideazione della ricetta, food cost, gli acquisti?
It's always can be always a different process. So sometimes we just say we have this paste, we have this variegato, and then we think, okay, why did we never try? So sometimes the idea is coming from the production. Sometimes we are on travels and say, I really tried this specific, for example, yogurt with pomegranate. And then we say, let's try this. And sometimes we just go to the ice cream fairs in Rimini or in Stuttgart. And then obviously every company has 100 new products and you try everything and then you try it at home again. But I think what is the really nice thing with our ice cream of the week, every week a new flavor again, so you get to test a lot. So you try something and then you see, oh, the people really buy a lot from this, we need to produce it a lot. Then you see high demand for this, the people like it. Then we check, okay, are we completely happy? Do we need to change the recipe a little bit? And then, for example, the Tomaselli special ice cream, it was once the World Cup ice cream 2010. People liked it so much in the summer, we said, we have to bring it back next year. And then we start to think, what is a good name? What are the best suppliers for those products? How can we maximize it? Naming really important of the ice cream, yeah. And that's how we then come to a new flavor and keep it for a long time in the stores.
Super. Ok, l'ultima domanda, Benedikt, prima di andare a fare un po' di gelato, visto che faremo un po' faremo un gusto vegano, giusto per stare sul tema. Se fossi al mio posto, chi chiameresti al prossimo episodio? Giocando un po' con l'immaginazione.
Well, giving first thing that comes to mind is just, I think the guys from the software that we use to have the whole warehouse, everything. I think it would be for everyone interested in gelato. It would be a really interesting company. I know they have very big gelaterias that they work for. They have also very small ones with one store. So I think they can give a really good insight into also how has everything evolved, the recipes, the data. And I think they would be a really interesting people to speak to. It's also a family business, I know. So I think they're doing really well. And it's maybe the other side from gelateria. So everything that happens in the back. So I think they're interesting people to speak to.
Okay, thank you. We go to make gelato.
Quick toilet break, then we can go.
Ok Benedikt, adesso andiamo a fare un gusto che abbiamo parlato e deciso assieme. Faremo un gusto plant-based, quindi vegano, utilizzando uno specifico prodotto che abbiamo deciso di introdurre l'anno scorso. Quindi in questo caso facciamo una gianduia variegata con la nostra cremino, che noi chiamiamo essenzella, gusto gianduia ma ovviamente vegano. Quindi in ordine abbiamo la nostra base senza plant-based, lo andremo ad aggiungere a un po' di cacao in polvere, della nocciola, ovviamente pasta di nocciola pura, a un blend di zuccheri che è saccarose destrose e poi andremo a finire con la nostra variegatura. Quindi per come le vere programmi sulla cucina abbiamo già messo dentro la base, dentro l'acqua, a te l'onore di mischiare il resto degli ingredienti, così intanto ti faccio altre domande. What is your favorite gelato flavor?
I'm really a fan of all the yogurt taste. So yogurt with a fruity variegato, I think that's for me the best. It's always refreshing, good taste. So yeah.
Sempre rimanendo un po' al tema numerico e gestione del prodotto, più o meno quanto gelato fate per negozio in totale?
We don't have, or like let's say not for the past years that we have the data for all the stores together. We don't have the data yet for the year because we just started to gain all of this information, but obviously all we can say is there's definitely on good sunny days in the summer we definitely produce a lot of kilograms of ice cream, and I think that's also maybe a little bit the challenge that many gelaterias may face, that we also faced when you grow. How can you maintain a very good quality but produce also at a high scale, deliver every day freshly to the stores, produce every day 7 days a week, having personnel 7 days a week. So I think that's one of the big challenges that over the past few years we managed, that we increased the quantity to manage all 4 stores, having long opening hours and still having the same good quality that we had when we still had 1 store. So I think that's the balance you need to find as a gelateria when you want to grow also.
Okay, so we can mix, then we continue. Okay. I think it's quite dissolved. But do you do this in gelato?
Yeah, okay. But we decreased a little bit the chocolate.
Ah, ok. Vai Benedikt.
Ready?
Vediamo se è buono. Yeah. Now, if you want to show us how to cover or how you want to cover.
Sure. I think, what we always do, we try to make some waves in our shops, so we don't keep the natural structure, but we try to add a little bit our structure. It's just a trademark look, we would say. So that's how we would leave the ice cream for us. And then in the end, I think it's always nice on the top if you can add a little bit of the extra flavor. I think especially the Essenzella, we tried it at our store as well. It's something that's really nice still to add. And then I think it's always nice. You still see the structure. You have a very good top coating as well. And I think, that's then perfect flavor, especially considering nice vegan chocolate flavor.
Yeah, nice point. Punto interessante per come ci hai spiegato, ma secondo il tuo punto di vista, magari faccio una domanda banale, ma quanto è importante anche il design della vetrina oggi, e quindi del gusto?
Very, very important, I think, and we also see it in the flavors that sell a lot. It's always flavors that have a natural color, like often white color, and then a very colorful variegato. So we're also a gelateria that uses a lot of variegatos, because obviously you get a bigger taste palette. You have a ice cream and a variegato, but also I think colorful. If you look to a storefront and you have all the different colors, it really is like an explosion into your eye that you see. Probably if you see vanilla and next to it you see yogurt passion fruit, the yogurt passion fruit really catches the eye, and that's why I think it's really important. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, now we can taste, I think. What do you think?
Really good, yeah. I'm a big fan of the flavor. I think the hazelnut really gets through, and it really tastes. I think if you don't know it's vegan, you would not taste it. So
yeah, that's the point, to introduce vegan flavor, to mimic as much as we can.
I think that's how it should be. You shouldn't. Ideally, you don't taste the difference between vegan and milk ice cream, and I think here, perfect example for this. Yeah.
Le maggiori differenze che trovi tra l'Austria naturalmente e anche il nostro paese in termini di gusto, dolcezza?
I think every country, every region has its special taste that the people like. What we often have in Austria, for example, alcoholic flavors, I think they may be more popular in Italy, in Germany, where you always have 1 or 2 alcoholic flavors. Every time we introduce an alcoholic flavor, it really doesn't work. And I think in Austria, or at least what we recognize in our shops, the people like more heavy, more creamy ice cream. They really, if they have a spoon in their mouth, they really want to have an intensive taste,
so
not
very
too
rich.
light.
What about the sweetness?
Still, I think they are used to a certain level of sweetness. So we sometimes also try to reduce a bit the sweetness, but we often hear in the end it's ice cream. It's something you have to enjoy, and it should
Sure.
be sweet. Definitely agree with this, but I think
No,
it
I agree.
needs to be a good balance. Like it shouldn't be only sweet, or if you only taste the sweetness. I personally don't like it, so I think it needs to be a product that you can enjoy. So that's why I also think it's fine that ice cream has sugar, because you eat it to enjoy. You don't eat it to have a healthy afternoon in the end. So I think a certain level of sweetness is fine, but finding the right balance is obviously then the key.
Qual è il tuo punto di vista o la tua, non so, se dovessi chiedere qual è la prossima sfida per Essenza?
I think in the future it will definitely be a challenge then to also make the vegan flavors as easy to work with as the normal flavors, so that you just have less product, or that you combine products that you use, so that for us it's also even quicker to make a vegan flavor. And I think still some flavors, I think, where you have a nut paste, a hazelnut, pistachio, I think they are really good to make vegan, while others I think are obviously harder, like yogurt or something. It's harder to get this taste. So I think there will definitely be some developments that will still happen in the future. But I think if like you are on a good way, that it's possible, just like with this flavor, to make vegan gelato that you cannot tell a difference, is it vegan or not. And I think if this point is reached, then I think there's no higher achievement you can have in vegan gelato.
So Benedikt, thank you so much. So we hope to see you soon, maybe in Innsbruck, to see your stores.
Yeah, you're definitely welcome to visit our stores. Thanks also for the invitation. Was a great experience to be here.
Perfect. Good. Ciao, bye bye.
Bye bye.